Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Margarita, Kingdom Seneschal for the Kingdom of Ansteorra, and tonight we're going to have a question and answer session with the candidates that are interested in becoming the next landed nobility for the barony of Bonwicke. We have a set list of questions that we, as the seneschalate, they will ask the questions and we'll let the candidates answer. And then we will, if there's some comments come up that are relevant, we can ask those at the end. And Her Excellency Kalina, the Central Regional Seneschal, is going to be handling this tonight with the two candidates that are here for the barony of Bonwicke. Kalina?
Greetings, everyone, and greetings to the candidates. So bear with me. Okay, I'm going to start with Lord
Brynjolf.
Brynjolf. Okay, I will have difficulty with that, but I'm going to start with the Lord. My first question is, what is the job of a landed nobility? What does it mean to you?
Well, thank you for starting with me, Your Excellency. First off, the job of the landed nobility is to serve at the will and pleasure of the crown. Secondly, the job is to, in that capacity, at the will and pleasure of the crown, serve as a territorial guide, as both a voice of the crown to the people and a voice of those people to the crown. Our job is to take care of our local populace and make sure not only their needs are met, but kingdom's will be done in their area and in their lands. And that's the conclusion of my answer.
Okay, thank you. Baroness? Yes. Beatrix? The same question.
Oh, mine is at one level very similar to Brynjolf's, that in some level we're kind of kingdom middle management. We take the word of the crown and the will of the crown and help to embody that and represent that and encourage that to our local populace. But it's also extremely important for us to take the goals and dreams of our local populace and make those expressed and known, right? Advocate for our people to the crown and to the rest of the kingdom, but primarily deep down, we are meant to be encouragers. We are meant to let our people know that they are valued by us and that whatever it is that their dream is to have in the SCA, part of our job is to help make that happen. Try to make sure that things run smoothly, that everything is peaceful and positive, and just be encouragers and advocates for the barony of Bonwicke.
All right, thank you. Okay, I'm going to start with you, Your Excellency Beatrix. My next question is, what will be your focus as a landed nobility?
One of the things that is a unique challenge in Bonwicke is that we are a very large landmass, and we do not have a central population. We have a lot of little pockets of population. So one of the things that I'm going to try to focus on as Baroness of Bonwicke is to help encourage all of those individual pockets so that we can develop a unified identity, and so that no one feels like, well, I'm just out here in blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares about me and what I'm doing. I want to try to help each person who's in our barony, as far-flung as they are, to feel like they are an active member of our populace and they're involved and they're treasured, and that they are part of Bonwicke and therefore part of Ansteorra.
Thank you. Lord? The question to you is the same thing. What would be your focus as landed nobility?
That is a very big question because we have a big barony and big plans. Much like Her Excellency Beatrix said, we're here to champion the causes of the people who maybe feel overlooked. Aside from that, one of our big things is developing culture. We want to help our group find its way to its own identity, and we are already making strides in that. Aside from that, one of my personal goals is to make it fun for people, and make them remember why we play this game, and help them find whatever their dream is and share part of mine with them. And I get a really broad stage to do that as Landed that I don't necessarily get as someone from the populace. And I'm really excited for the potential for that.
Excellent. Okay. Sorry about that. The next question, I'm going to, either one of you, let's start with Her Excellency Beatrice. How important are your barony's traditions and past experiences? Past
Right.
traditions of the barony. Thank you.
Yeah. We have some traditions and they are very important, but at the same time, I think we're also in part of Brynjolf's vision of really trying to help Bonwicke have its own identity. Part of what we're hoping to do is establish our own traditions and have that set a tone for our barony that can last us into the future. Frankly, we have a lot of turnover in terms of people that are in our barony. And so there isn't, people who are here that have played in Bonwicke for 30 years and able to say, well, we've always, for all those 30 years, done X, Y, Z, and you need to respect that. Which at one level is a sadness that we don't have that strong historical continuity, but it also gives us some amount of freedom to say, well, that means we have an opportunity to establish new traditions. And so we fully plan to respect the traditions of our past, but we also see some amount of flexibility and freedom to establish new ideas.
Okay. And for you, Lord B, I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce your name.
It's Old Norse is really hard. Brynjolf is fine. It's Brynjolfur, but nobody can do that. So it's all right.
Okay, thank you.
If you're asking me the same question, Your Excellency, is that my understanding?
Yes, and I want to expound because she expounded. What traditions or what are your thoughts about bringing new traditions and holding to traditions?
Yes. Okay. So I mundanely am. Well, I'm a Marine. I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, and if you know anything about the Marine Corps, you know that it is all about tradition, down to the number of belt loops we have and the meaning of the stripes in our pants. I loved that about that organization. And what I love about our area is it's big. And it's one of the things I also hate about our area is because it's big. And it provides a lot of unique challenges, but one of the most interesting aspects of it is, as we're looking at it, we have all these former groups that are in this giant landmass that that no longer exist. So in a lot of ways, what Her Excellency was talking about, we have a lot of freedom there. But what do? We have some people. We have one or two. His Excellency Hakon and Her Excellency Anna still come out occasionally, and they're Baron and Baroness Bonwicke. They were the first. So we love it when we see them. And this area has always had a culture for service. It's always had a culture. We've had multiple people who've won crown come from our area. So we've had fighters. We've had some of the finest panache rapier folks out there. There is greatness in this area, and it's something that we're not going to forget. And as a matter of fact, we're going to remind people of. Regarding the new traditions, one of the things that we're trying to do is we know the area that we live in is big. We know that it's vast, and we know that it is open and barren in a lot of ways. And we, one of the cultural aspects that we're trying to touch on, for example, is we know that we are hardy folks and that it is hard to live out here. And we're going to lean into that as we travel and we hunt down vice and avarice and all this negativity. And our goal is to bring positivity into the game. Speaking specifically on one of the traditions, one of the things, and I was waiting to do this, but we are talking about unveiling the baronial banner, where folks who've been in our group for a year can add their own personal streamer to the banner, just like the battle standards in the military. They're called guidons. And establishing someone who says, I want to tell you about this person. And they grab that banner and talk about them in court. We've talked about adding a little bit of pomp and circumstance to our Western Cross, our baronial service order. So we're not trying to do anything really new and outrageous. What we're trying to do is build on the past that was already established for us, with the freedom of new eyes.
Okay. All right. Lord Brav, I know I butchered it.
It's okay.
How often do you currently attend meetings, work days, and events?
Well, so last month is a typical month. I evented every weekend. I was in Central Region. We did LC Defender, Coronation. I went down to Stargate. I actually was supposed to go, last week fell through because I was supposed to go to the Eldern Hills Day in the Park, but we weren't able to because of the storms. But that was the plan. So I travel all over the kingdom regularly. My wife is one of the current landed, so I travel with her. Aside from that, I do weekly fighter practice because I'm the local night marshal, and I'm traveling to Lubbock this weekend to do a fighter practice up there because they're having their regular stuff, and my deputy will be out of town, so we're kind of covering fire there. So short answer is a lot, but at least 2 events a month usually, and I am at every fighter practice. And I do attend our occasional ANS. That's kind of hard doing multiple SCA days during the week with as big of a family as I have, but Alicia and I switch off sometimes.
Okay. Baroness Beatrix, how about you? Same question.
Sure. Right. In case anybody doesn't know, Brynjolf and I are good friends. We are not married, right? Totally different households, 3.5 hours apart from each other. So, right, he's married to Baroness Alush. I'm married to a man who doesn't participate in the SCA. And so some points that's great. At some points it's not so great. So I tend to, okay, first of all, right, always go to every populace meeting. That goes without saying. I host an ANS night actually at my church, which is where I am tonight. 2 Thursdays out of the month. So they alternate with our populace meetings. And then in terms of traveling around the kingdom, that's where my husband comes in because he is also part of his work involves sometimes travel over the weekends. So I try to attend about 2 events on average in other parts of the kingdom every month. Sometimes it's less because my husband's busy. Sometimes it's a little more because I have a little bit more freedom. So it's a balance, but always for local events, for local activities, populace. Again, ANS night. Also, we have in Lubbock, one of our more experienced rapier fighters has established what he calls a sword school, and they meet every Friday. And I'm trying to attend that a little bit more regularly. I would like to, run drills with them, learn a little bit. I'm not heretofore not a fighter, I'm a maker. But I understand that that is an aspect of the society that is worthwhile in getting to know better. So one of the things I'm planning on trying to get in the habit of is attending the weekly sword school at least once a month. To try to try to improve my own fighting and also to get to know the fighting community.
Excellent. Okay, this last question, or close to last question, has several parts to it. And I'm going to start with you, Baroness. What steps will you ensure that if you're in a household or belted affiliations do not influence your decision-making process to ensure that those who are not affiliated are outweighed by your personal bias? I should have rewrote that. It doesn't make any sense.
I get the flow.
In other words,
I am an apprentice. I will say that. I actually have 2 apprentice affiliations. I have a foreign Laurel who lives out in the Kingdom of the West. And I have, her name is Countess Jane Corwin. And I'm her only apprentice. So that sort of limits my household bias because otherwise I'd be biased against everyone. And then I am also a foster apprentice to Magistra Tatiana Verlioni up in Wiesenfeuer. And she and I have already had conversations in the past about the roles of households and how that works. I have one apprentice sister, and she also lives up in North Keep. So that's not necessarily an in Bonwicke dynamic. But I've talked to Magistra Tatiana, and there is a consensus. She would be upset if she thought that I was changing my behavior or showing bias because of my household affiliations, because of my association with her, because of my association with my apprentice sister. It would be a negative thing rather than that's not something I have to resist. There's an understanding within my association that my primary responsibility is the well-being of Bonwicke, and that being part of my service to the Kingdom of Ansteorra and the kingdom's well-being. So that has been specifically addressed with all my associates, and that is not, I feel confident that would not be an issue.
okay. Lord?
The same question, Your Excellency?
Yes.
So what steps will I ensure? I've already ensured the steps. One, it is actually a little known fact. I am man-at-arms to Vladislav Strelek Pasha. I've been his man-at-arms since 2021, and we have not progressed to squiring because he had to take a step away from the game due to personal life issues. If and when he comes back, we have already agreed that I will be taking the squire's belt from him. That is the intent, and that might be when I'm landed. We have had the discussion multiple times about what that means, and the short answer is, much like Beatrix, the discussions have already been had, and it will not affect at all, because our soul, and he was crowned before, so he knows very well, the requirements of being landed. It will not affect because part of our agreement that we have codified with each other is that the loyalty first is to the crown. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I am a royalist, and I stand by the crown of Ansteorra. And that's just how it goes. So kind of succinct, but I hope that answered your question appropriately.
It did. Thank you. All right. I have no further questions. Your Grace, did I miss anything that you would like to clear up?
No, you did well there, Baroness Kalina. Thank you for asking all the questions. I will be posting a polling that will be through a Google Sheets, and I will put it out on the I'll open it once this meeting is over, and it will be open for 1 week. It'll start tonight after the meeting till next Thursday, the 9th at midnight. And what that is polling whether people support you or they don't support you, just yes or no. I mean, and that can be your populace members, and that is getting the words to the crown. You can also, anyone is welcome to email comments, concerns, or wonderful words, to the crown. And that is sovereign@crown.ansteorra.org and consort@crown.ansteorra.org. But the polling is just so it kind of gathers data on the populace so that they can, after watching this Q&A session, I believe a recording will be up after this is over. So if anybody did miss it, they can go watch it and listen to all your answers to the questions that was brought forth. And like I said, it'll be open for 1 week starting tonight after this meeting. And I don't think there was any other questions. I was looking through the chat. I didn't see anything that came up. Okay. There was one that says, I think I know the answer. Are these candidates running together as a couple or against each other? Yes, they are running together. It's like I said, normally when we have Q&As, we have more than one set. But Lord I can't even say it, Brennoff and Her Excellency Beatrix are running. They will be Baron and Baroness, Landed Nobility together. They just live separately. I mean, they are not a formal couple, but they will be a couple for the barony.
Teamwork.
We're in a partnership. Yep.
Right.
And I think that was, let me double check it before. That looks like all the questions. I want to thank you both very much for joining us tonight and
Yes, thank you.
Ask the questions that are, we kind of want to get to know each of you both, because like you said, it's kind of a little far out. But anyone at the Barony of Bonwicke, feel free to contact the Crown. Please fill out the polling that I will be posting. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or Her Excellency Kalina, and we can get answers to whatever questions you have. And thank you all for this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.